to infinity and beyond.
Hello everybody, Roger and James here from DisKingdom.com, and in this episode we are going to be discussing the Sony PlayStation conference, what we're going to expect to see at E3 from Sony, from the PlayStation side of things. So straight off the bat, James, what are your initial expectations for E3 this year?
Honestly, not that much. I think for Sony, they've got so many good games out right now and a couple of really good ones on the horizon, no pun intended. They really just need to let Microsoft kind of announce the Scorpio, announce their stuff, and then be prepared to offer a response. But let Microsoft hang themselves and then, do their own thing.
Sony, I think, are going to be like, this game's coming, this game's coming, this game, this. We've got all of this stuff coming. We've got third-party deals. We've got these. You're going to get Destiny. You're going to get Call of Duty. You're going to get, they're going to hype Battlefront. You're going to get all the titles that are also on Xbox but made to look better on PlayStation. That's going to be kind of the way they're going to push it. I think we're going to see a price drop for the PlayStation 4 Pro to kind of offer that HD, the 4K experience, probably half the price of a Scorpio. I'm not expecting a PS5 announcement in the slightest. No. I'm not expecting that at all. I think they're going to just blast on, this is the place to, this is for players. This is that old thing of, this is for the players. This is going to continue on that trend. They're just going to throw out 20, 30, 40 games that are coming to PlayStation over the next 6 to 8 months. If you want to play games, you're going to want this system. And also, I don't think it's necessarily even getting new people to buy PlayStation. I think it's more just about, you've got a PlayStation 4 and these are why you want to play these games. I don't think they're in the mode now, what they're 60 million PlayStation 4s?
I don't even know. I don't have a clue. But no. I do know that all they need to do is say, you know what, if you want to play multiplayer games, Destiny, Battlefront 2, this is the system where your friends are probably playing it on, so get it for us. They don't need to do much at E3 this year. Microsoft has to go out there and they have to prove that they deserve to still be in this arena. And then next year or later this year, Sony can come out and say, all right, so the Scorpio specs over there, that's what we have to beat.
Yeah.
But we know we can beat it because we're going to do it a year later than them, and technology is moving so fast that we will have everything down the road.
The only thing I do worry is, because of obviously Xbox, they know Project Scorpio is being announced, and there's going to be some big guns announced for that. Nintendo are coming out swinging with their kind of thing. And, they Sony are going to need to offer up lots of different exclusives and lots of different kind of content coming that they are. Because I still feel that PlayStation is going to be the number one content for games, but also I'm not expecting a Vita 2 announcement or anything. I almost feel Sony are going to be like, Nintendo have that market. We aren't going to be able to match them on this handheld market anymore because Nintendo are doing something completely different. But they're also going to have to be. They are going to have to offer lots of games, lots of I think a lot of franchises and stuff like that. I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Well, I mean, it's a franchise year, obviously, with a lot of new franchises coming in, and then return of other franchises which have taken a break. They just need to be able to say the better experience for these multi-platform games is on the PlayStation, which I think most people are already willing to acknowledge. I think the real question here is, are we going to see anything for the PlayStation VR?
Yeah.
Because there's actually been a little bit of a push by Sony lately. I've seen commercials for it on television. They've got Farpoint coming out in the very near future. But after Farpoint, we're not really sure what's down the pike in terms of major releases. So, yeah, we know we're going to see Destiny 2. We're going to see Battlefront 2. We're going to be seeing Call of Duty World War II and all that stuff. Are we going to see Sony continuing to support VR? Or is it just going to kind of fade away? And I think that's the real question of E3.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? From as it going to do the Vita, where they don't really announce anything from it. Looking at some of the other things, one thing I am wondering, whether or not they announce kind of a major shake-up of the PS Plus. Because Microsoft are doing something a little bit different. Obviously, their Games for Gold is offering 4 games, and they're good quality, higher quality games because of the free 60-pack catalog. They're also doing this Gamer Pass. They also have all PlayStation is, they've changed PlayStation Now a little bit. I can't, they're still offering PS3 and Vita games. This feels like it could be a good opportunity to maybe relaunch that, because Nintendo are going to be doing whatever they're going to be doing. I feel PS Plus is lost. It's just not every month it comes up. It looks so lax to compare to the Xbox version, and they've got to be looking at going. They don't want Xbox getting too much more of this.
No, and the titles that they are launching with, or sorry, not launching, but they're giving away for PS Plus just don't compare to the Xbox titles month in to month out. I think this past month they had Abzu, which is a fantastic game, but that's the first game, which I already even had, where it's like, yes, okay, I'm actually excited to get this game for free in the PS Plus program. They need to overhaul it, or they need to change the way they're doing it, or they need to roll PlayStation Now into it.
Yeah, I think if they took away PlayStation 3 games and offered PlayStation Now, which gave you access to PlayStation 3, and we're putting Assassin's Creed or Star Wars: The Force Unleashed on it this month, so you can. That would be a good way of counteracting what Microsoft are doing and offering. Because there's that thing of when you see them highlight, when you see like Microsoft and they're offering Star Wars: The Force Unleashed and Lego Star Wars plus 2 games you've never heard of. That brand recognition is there straight away with Microsoft or Sony, and how many more people are still playing on PlayStation 3? Okay, they might be going, you've dropped us PlayStation 3 fans. Well, you've had it long enough now. We've got to focus on PlayStation 4. The Vita. How much long? And most of them now are PlayStation 4/Vita games anyway. I think it would be a good opportunity for them to give something to kind of counteract that. I think I could very easily see some kind of announcement there or a change up of that system.
Well, I mean, honestly, if they really wanted to blow people away, it would be a true backwards compatibility to combat Microsoft. Do I think they'll actually do it? Probably not, but it would be a major announcement for them, and it would neuter Microsoft's biggest advantage that they have in the current cycle. Is because as much as you may want to be like, I mean, those games came out 5, 6, 7 or more years ago. Why am I going to bother playing them now? There are certain games where you can just pick them up and play them. I started playing Force Unleashed again recently. I was just like, this game's awesome. Sure, the graphics didn't hold up very well, but man, it's fun.
Yeah, and also I think it would go long term. That thing of what you have purchased on the PlayStation Store, you can play it on anything. Xbox are going down this line. They are full on backwards compatible. New consoles, just you can play your back catalog. And I think Sony would be very hard pressed to not realize that this needs to be done. And it would definitely be a knockout blow, because it would be like,
huge.
You did it last year. Well, we're doing it as well. Or as much as I think PlayStation Now is a good way of doing it through the back door. The architectures are different, but I think they've had they got hit last year with that announcement, or was it like even the year before? They've had time to work on it.
Yeah, and I mean, PlayStation Now was never a good solution for it because, I mean. Yeah, you have to pay a monthly fee for these games. And any game that you've already bought, that you might have bought digitally back on the PlayStation 3 era, or would have gotten for free with PlayStation Plus, you still have to pay for it or hope that it shows up on the service as well. It's like, come on, I bought this game once. This is not Nintendo. You're not going to convince me to buy Super Mario Brothers 5 to... Oh, wait, you kind of are. But, only Nintendo can do that. You're not going to convince me to, buy... I don't even know. I can't even remember what the PlayStation exclusives were for the PS3. You can't convince me to buy Killzone again. I already have Killzone. I'm not buying it again. But you know what? If you gave me the ability to play the version of it that I already bought, I can see myself downloading it and playing it again.
Maybe even if they just went digital only. Well, if you purchase it digitally, or you can now buy them digitally, that would be an option rather than using discs.
Right.
But on to something else. I just want to kind of run through some. These are kind of predictions from a couple of other different sites. So, God of War. So I've never played one of them. So that's a big franchise.
I just picked up God of War 3 because it was on sale for like $3 or something on one of the PlayStation Flash. I've never played any of these games longer than like 10 or 15 minutes. So, yeah, They will definitely have something God of War at E3 though.
So we also got Detroit Become Human, again, new franchise. Days Gone, the new like zombie one, they showed it off last year. That could be a bit exciting, could be different, see something about that one. Dreams is something that we've been hearing about for a while. That's something that's I think the guys from Little Big Planet have been working on. That's been sort of the thing is with Sony, sometimes they announce stuff quite a bit in advance. A lot of people saying as well, like, just putting up a logo with the name game it's coming is enough sometimes to say, oh, there's lots coming in the future.
Right.
Last of Us Part 2, Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Again, you're seeing big franchises coming in. I'm playing Uncharted 4 at the minute, so that should be good.
Right, and I'm playing 2 for the first time. So
Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think we'll find out about it. That's coming a way off. Gran Turismo Sport, Shenmue 3. I remember that.
Shenmue, yeah.
And they've also got the big one, Spider-Man game. That's going to be a big. I'm expecting a lot from that. Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. That's continue on. I did actually just ask for that for my birthday, so that's good. And Knack 2 is also going to be kind of there, which obviously Knack doesn't have the biggest franchise thing behind it, but again, it's going to be console exclusive. That's all it is. Crash Bandicoot as well. That's going to be coming out in June. So they're hitting families. Something Xbox ain't doing. And then obviously VR. And
then there's other smaller titles, like you got the Wipeout Omega collection. You've got Ni no Kuni 2, which is a traditional RPG with the Studio Ghibli style. It's not going to be like a huge system seller, but it's got its market. I would not be surprised if that showed up there. You got Pyre, which is by the guys who did Bastion and Transistor, which are fantastic games. It's like I know people use this term ironically, but this actually is a good description for it. It's kind of a sports ball game. Like, it's not based on any real life sports, but it's about you have to take this ball to the other side, and there's really no other description for it. So they've got such an incredible lineup of games. We could see all or none of these. But they don't even have to give us details about half of them.
I mean, I definitely just feel like they're in that situation where they are just going to blast down on title after title after title with lots of third-party Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, chuck all that in. Even though they're coming to Xbox, it will... And they're going to be just pushing over, this is the place to play the best games. They'll have the most powerful console for a couple more months until the Scorpio. But I think price cuts, the PlayStation 4 Slim will probably get another price cut, so that'll be probably the cheapest console on the market out of the 3 generations for parents this year. And I can't help but feel like having things like Crash Bandicoot, games like this will appeal to families to finally pick up PlayStation 4s, maybe if they've been holding off with their 360.
Right. And it's one of those things where we just finished recording the Microsoft episode where we talked about the Microsoft parts of this as well, and we were kind of, hunting for games to talk about. It's like we're talking about Halo. Well, of course we're talking about Halo. We're talking about Crackdown. Of course we're talking about Crackdown. What else do we got to talk about? But here on PlayStation, just going through this list, I'm just like, wow, we could talk about that. We could talk about that. There's games on this list I've never even heard of, but, you got Shenmue, you've got Wise, you've got... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Yakuza, stuff like that. And it's just game after game. So this is exactly what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
They don't need to come out with major announcements. They could be like, all right, here's a 30-minute trailer of all the games that are coming out. Nothing. That's our press conference.
But then there's almost that side thing. If you're sat here thinking, right, I can't help but feel like now, if they're not sitting there saying to you, you pick a console and go with it for life. A lot of people have already got the console and they're just looking for reasons to buy those games on that console. Now, if you're into 4K, it's still a very small number, and the PlayStation 4 Pro is going to be the cheaper version of getting in, and you're going to have all these games. Xbox are going to have to hit hard to combat Sony. Sony, I think, have kind of gone into this one here. They've kind of in this weird position where Switch is the new boy on the block that everyone's excited about. We're all in the honeymoon period, and there's a lot of excitement about Nintendo being back in the game. Xbox are launching the Scorpio. Sony aren't no one's expecting a PlayStation 5 announcement, and if they do, they're going to crucify their own sales, so they can't say it yet.
No, it would be stupid. They don't want to, and like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, their best bet is to wait for Microsoft to release the specs on the Scorpio and then be like, all right, yep, you can get a Scorpio this year, or you can get all these games for the PlayStation 4, and next year we'll have a console that will beat the snot out of the Scorpio.
But then I still feel like even with PlayStation, they could come up with PlayStation 5 and everything's backwards compatible, because they know that these console generations are going to have to keep jumping. I do think jumping names, changing the names and stuff is a bit different, but now with the PC engine of like scaling back and scaling up, we're in a different era, and I don't think people are ready for a brand new console from PlayStation yet. I don't.
No,
it doesn't feel like, and that's been out for a few years. The Pro is a big jump.
Heck, we're not even really ready for a new Xbox console, but that's not stopping Microsoft because they need to do something drastic to get back in the game. But yeah, we can't have these super short console cycles. It's just not viable. And Sony recognized that.
Yeah, unless they just go down the incremental increases of every 2 years, we have a new model out, and then but then at some point you're gonna have to turn them and go, right, the PlayStation 4 is 15 years old, and the PlayStation 4.10 is now, But there again, with the way that PC infrastructure is built, I can still go back and play a game from 20 years ago and it works. It just looks ugly, but you obviously can't play the new one. They'll have to do something, but right now Sony is just going to be, I think just hitting game announcement after announcement. And with Microsoft's new console and the Switch, I don't think it's a good. It's the first holiday. There's going to be 2 new consoles going head to head for people's money this year. PlayStation are going to want to be part of that. They're going to want people. The PlayStation is going to be the cheapest option out of all 3 of them.
Right, and they're also going to be the ones that are going like, all right, you know what? The Switch has Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart and stuff like that, and those are great games. But man, look at how many great games we have that are only going to cost you $5 to $20 each because they've been out for some time. But man, these are good games, and you're going to want to play these games.
It definitely feels like there's going to be some games there that we're not expecting, some trailers and stuff, and it's going to be fun going through all the E3 stuff in about a month's time when we kind of look back at what it is, because we'll do some episodes as well where we're going to look back at each of the major games and see, because obviously Disney games are great, but there's other sides of things to it from the video game point of view.
Right, and what I'm really hoping for, I don't actually expect to see it, but what I'm really hoping in E3 will be an Ace Combat 7 trailer, because I love the Ace Combat series. Will we see it? Probably not. If we do, it'll probably be in conjunction with a VR announcement of some sort or other, but man, I love those games. Or man, I know this isn't the EA one, we're not talking about EA here, but man, give us an X-Wing game, guys. X-Wing. Yeah. You teased us in Battlefront 1 with that VR experience. I want a proper game.
Yes. But on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you guys think. What are you hoping to see from Sony from E3? And we will see you guys in another episode. You can find us on all the different audio and video platforms. And you can find us over at DisKingdom.com. And we shall see you soon. Later.